We're basically enjoying Elliot's first visit in the KPFK building for 30 years since he's been on the show. So we're having.
May I back? While you're waiting on phone calls and doing what you do, Roy, and I'm not trying to hijack the program, but may I ask you a couple of questions?
Moi?
Yeah.
Sure.
Because I've listened to you for a long time, and I know that for the most part you play your cards pretty close to your vest. And you're not one who goes out there and does personal interviews and stuff like that. And if you don't mind, I'd like to ask you some questions. If you don't want to answer them, just pass them by, okay?
Okay. I was thinking before we did the show that is this for me to interview Elliot or Elliot to interview me? Or we're going to have dueling interviews.
As you can see, the way the program evolved, it's more than interviews.
Yeah.
It's interaction. You know, we could be doing this at my house. Roy, how long have you been doing your program on KPFK?
About 38 years.
Close to 40 years.
Pushing 40, yeah.
5 nights a week?
4 nights.
Not in the beginning. In the beginning it was 5, right?
No, in the beginning it was 3? No, I think it was 4 nights. For the first few months it was started at 2 o'clock.
2 a.m.
2 to 6, yeah.
You're on every night. You've been doing
4 nights.
Yeah. Well, that's like every night.
Oh, yeah.
You've been doing this for 38 years. Why do you do what you do?
Gosh.
Look at me, please.
Okay. Partly because I love it. I love the radio, and I love the station, and I am paying a debt to the station for giving me the kind of education I got from it, and I'm passing it down. Part of it is strictly passive. I heard Alan Watts. Alan Watts helped change my life. So I play Alan Watts, and I give it to other people. So I'm sort of a mechanical instrument. There's something played Alan Watts to me, that I come in and I play Alan Watts to the next generation or the of listeners. And part of it is an enlargement, and the same thing with Jack. You know, I heard Jack. You played Jack to me. I played Jack to them, and so that's just mechanical, and it's also paying the debt and spreading. I'd say if I was Christian, I'd say that was spread the good news, and I love to do it. I'm made for it. I struggle. I've had over 25 jobs in my life. Mm-hmm. You know, hard labor and clerical and sales and truck driving and a lot in a library and teaching and social work and auditing and a lot of things. So I always wanted to do something that I loved and that was important in some way, not to make me important, but it's something that was important to be done, and also that I would love to do, because I did a lot of things that I hated to do, but, you know, the usual. I hate my job, but I have to do it to make a living. So my major thing was to find something that I enjoyed and that I could live off of, or make a living from, and that had in importance to it. So
You leave here at 5 o'clock in the morning.
6.
6 a.m. You go home.
Yeah.
Do you live far from where the radio station is?
A block.
You live a block from the station.
I walk, yeah.
You walk home
Yeah.
at 6 a.m.
Takes about 2 minutes.
You get home. What do you do when you get home at 6?
Oh, we're getting back to this. I have a very boring life. I go to my computer.
Yeah.
And I go to the KPFK website. And I go to the audio archives, which by 6:15 or 6:30 is the second half of Something's Happening is posted on the audio archives, and it's blank. So I fill it in to put, I fill in what was played the second half of the show. That's the first thing. And then Diane is if Diane is working, she's up and running, and I always say goodbye to her. Or if she's working late or not working, then I make her breakfast, and I might relax, and then go to sleep.
At what hour?
Oh, 8 o'clock, 7 o'clock.
I've met Diane. I was hoping she'd be here this evening.
Yeah, so is she. Her heart's broken, but the only way she could be here was if she would call in sick tomorrow, and she can't do that.
How long have you and she been together?
About 30 years.
She goes off to work. It's 8 a.m. You go to sleep. What time do you rise?
Well, I rise around 9 a.m. and watch Tom Hartman, usually, or 9 or 10 to watch Tom Hartman.
You go to sleep at 8 a.m.
I take a nap, yeah.
You take a nap from 8 a.m. to 9 or 10?
8 to 9, 7 to 9, 8 to 10, something like that. I don't, it just depends what my body can do, what it is interested in doing.
But you get by on 2 or 3 hours of sleep?
No, after Tom is over at 12 o'clock, I will sleep for a few hours in the afternoon. And then I make dinner when Diane comes home. And then I take a nap after dinner. I get up about 10 o'clock and have some coffee and get ready for work. But I have several short sleep times during the week. On weekends, I sleep a lot. I catch up, though I understand you can't catch up. But I've been getting away with it.
Outside of KPFK and what you do, what else do you do with your life?
I hang with Diane.
Yeah.
Have family. And we don't go anywhere. We don't want to go anywhere. We've already been, where we want to go. And we don't, we've gone through periods that we would go to the opera. We would like to opera. She loved opera. So we went to the opera. But now we've seen all the operas, and we're not interested in seeing it again. So we don't go to the movies hardly at all. And we don't go to lectures, and we don't go to demonstrations. We've done a lot of all that. We just like to be together. We're both, if you want to be astrological, we're both cancers.
Uh-huh.
And we like our domestic place. We do not have a fancy or comfortable apartment, but it's ours. It's home sweet home, be it ever so humble. So we like to just be together there with the cat. Then we feed the cat. I have fish. We feed the fish. We watch TV, a little TV. I listen to the radio. I explore with the computer. I look for programs to play, and I do get real boring, I do a lot of work on income tax and IRS stuff.
What do you mean you do a lot of work on income tax?
Well, the IRS doesn't follow the law, and if you follow the law, they don't like it, then they call you. But if you insist on following the law, and somebody said I ought to make stationery that says teaching the law one agent at a time. And so I send them the law instead of filing my taxes. And so they have to steal my money. But
you don't pay taxes.
No, they take it.
They withdraw the taxes that they believe they should take from you from your bank account without your permission.
Right.
Got it.
But they, with court authority that they don't have, they're supposed to have. They've done that.
Is your mom and dad alive?
No. They both died, in the 80s.
What was your relationship like with your parents?
My mother was very protective, Jewish mother.
Yeah.
I had an older brother who was the apple of their eye. I have a younger sister who was the apple of their eye, and I was the middle child. So they loved the older brother who was a big success. Well, and the younger child was a girl, and they wanted a girl, and I was supposed to be a girl, but I was a boy. So I didn't realize that until I went to college, and I got my birth certificate for UC Berkeley, and my birth certificate said unnamed male Tuckman. They didn't have a name for me, and that was when I realized that they were expecting a girl, so they had to go a third time. So I got to name myself, and but they called me Roy all these years. But that was the name of the gynecologist who delivered me. It was Roy Cummings. So they just said, what's that boy? Call him Roy. But anyway, but my mother, so the middle child was a whole thing when I was young. The psychological conditions of the middle child was a problem. So I guess I was a problem, or supposed to be a problem. My dad didn't have a father, grew up without a father. His father divorced early. So as I heard from Carl Faber, who on my show,
yes,
all of a sudden just compassion blossomed forth. I realized a father who didn't have a father doesn't know how to be a father.
Yeah, yeah.
And I realized
repeat that phrase, by the way.
A father who grows up with a man who grows up without having a father doesn't know how to be a father.
Yep.
So if he doesn't know how to be a father, it's not because he's an idiot or an ass or whatever. It's because he didn't have a father. He doesn't know how. Plus the fact that I had a brother. My older brother was a star. He was run fast and jump high and very social, and the girls all loved him. And he was very, very popular, very outgoing. My parents were very outgoing and very sociable and very going out on lots of people and all that. And my sister's sort of like that too. And my brother was like that. My parents are like that. But I was asocial, antisocial. I just wasn't interested in all that. I liked to be quiet, alone, and stuff. So that was something I was supposed to outgrow, which I never did. My brother was so popular that when he went to UCLA, he joined Sigma Chi fraternity. And Sigma Chi at that time, this is in the early 1950s, they didn't allow Jews in the fraternity.
Mm-hmm.
And he was a Jew. But they were able to, UCLA Sigma Chi chapter was able to bend the rules to allow my brother to join. So he was a Sigma Chi. While he was in college, he was in Sigma Chi. I mean, he was, a star of some sort. So when I went to college, I went to a fraternity rush. I forget which fraternity it was. There was all of a sudden some star players at my high school were in Berkeley, and they contacted me. They found out that I'm at Berkeley, and they called me and said, "Oh, come to our fraternity rush party."
Yeah.
This is like Barack Obama calls you. I'm nobody. I was nobody. I was somebody, but for them, and I wasn't. No, why are they calling me? Why? And all of a sudden, I go to the rush party and getting all this attention, and it was all. People kept coming up to me. I don't believe I met you. I don't believe I met you. Comanche Rush, come join the party. And I thought, whoa, I don't want to have to do that. No, thank you, but no, thank you. It was just too many people, too much talk, too much attention, and I don't want to have to do that to the next generation. It just was not mine. So I didn't join a fraternity. And
how old are you now?
I'm 76.
If you were about to write your life script, how many more years would you like to be doing this?
I'm assigned, I have been told internally, 20 more years. I don't know if I'll be doing this for 20 more years, but I got 20 more years or more, depending on how I live my life.
Could you see yourself in your 90s doing this broadcast?
Yeah, I see myself taking my last breath, reaching over to the CD player and hit repeat, and dropping dead
rewind.
in his chair. So there'll be no radio silence. The CD will keep playing and playing and playing and playing, and I'll be here dead. And then the good part, my DNA is in the walls.
So it will keep resonating.
Yeah, I will haunt the station.
You have, over the years, played thousands of hours of people discussing philosophy, religion, etc. You've always presented them without editorial opinion. Do you believe in God?
I don't believe. Belief is wish. It comes from the Celtic. This is from Alan Watt. The word leaf comes from the Celtic wish. Belief means wish. Accept on yourself a wish.